What is up? Welcome back to another video. Now we're here this evening to talk about something very important. Now, this happens a lot in my particular field of work here, if you can even really call it that. But I find myself deeply invested in things that no one else really seems to care about too much. And this video is going to be no exception to that rule. Now, of course, what I'm talking about is the yes! Star film. I was very wrapped up in whether or not this was actually Fujifilm or Kodak film. If you aren't familiar with the full story, I'll give you the Reader's Digest. Basically, it was reported a few months, a year ago, not sure the timeline exactly, but it was reported that Fuji was investing a bunch in yes! Star film developing process. Now, some people were speculating that this might be Fujifilm coming back from the dead, primarily the Fuji C200, Fuji Superia 400 films, just going to be recanned in yes! Star cartridges. Other people were speculating it was going to be more along the lines of their current line of products, which is Fuji 200 and Fuji 400, which is Kodak 200, Kodak 400. I found myself wanting to believe in the former, but businessly, professionally, the latter made the most sense. I was able to get my hands on some of the film, as well as some examples, as well as a lot of other things that I otherwise wouldn't have the ability to test these theories with. With the magic of technology and film development, I have some first-hand examples to stroll through. Before we do so, I would like to submit what I believe the answer truly is. Now, I think this is, putting the cart before the horse here a little bit, but once we see the quality of the photos that I took, I think you will come to realize that it's not really the best evidence to support any kind of claim, because there's a massive asterisk and there's a massive ass right here. I used the Contax RTS, a camera, it's a favorite of mine. Unfortunately, it has a CY mount, and one of these days I will go to the trouble of investing in a more quality lens for that particular mount, but as it stands, the only lens I have available for that is the Solagore 28-80, which is, in a word, cooked. Some could see that as a fun creative choice. I see it as a built-in kind of orange tinted filter, which produces more warmth in the images and less detail than is naturally there. So the images aren't really great in terms of gauging what the origin of the film is, but based on the images that Andrew sent over, based on other things that I've seen, I suspect that it is just the Kodak 200, Kodak 400 recanned and some awful packaging from yes! Star, as opposed to a sneaky way to get your hands on some Fuji C200 or Fuji Superia 400. Unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed. That's the whole story there. That's the whole spiel. If you do want to see all of the photos and the photo walk I went on, I recommend you check that out on my second channel. I'll link it up here. I'll link it below. Check it out. I shot it on a GoPro, so it's a little bit wibbly wobbly, but if you can put up with that, it's kind of a fun little piece, I think. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed taking the photos, even if I'm not super excited about the results, but what else is new, am I right? Going back to the issue at hand, what do I think this means? I don't really think it means anything, to be honest. I think this is a relatively calculated move on Fuji's part, recognizing the burgeoning market in China. And we're seeing this now with the Lucky C200 film being introduced there. We've seen this with other brands kind of migrating stuff there, trying to position themselves as Chinese first markets. And so we could be seeing a lot more products being developed in that area, both because it's cheaper to produce stuff out there. There seems to be less emissions testing, less emissions things in general as there is in Japan or in America. So you're able to produce stuff a little bit more freely without government oversight. And we can argue whether or not that's right or wrong. I would argue it's a little bit wrong, but different thing. So I'm not going to get too in the weeds about that. Regardless of all of that, the market does exist. And I think it's a smart move for Fuji to invest in that market, as well as all the other moves they're making. I think are really calculated moves to some degree. End all be all of this is I don't think the yes! Star film is necessarily worth your time. If you feel so inclined to behold the horrible packaging of this film just for the the kicks and giggles of seeing something that is so poorly designed, then by all means, help yourself. But if you're like, oh, this is a new film, this is new Fujifilm, it's not. Even if it is, for whatever reason, nothing about the results I got, nothing about the results I've seen have really been so astounding that I couldn't have just gotten that off of Gold 200 or Ultramax 400, which are cheaper, easier to get, and look better just visually. That's kind of my whole thought there. That's my whole opinion on this matter. I want to spend the next little bit talking about the Contax RTS because it's a camera that I've been really infatuated with since I first got one. Good friend of the channel and a Bronco buddy had one and sent it in to be fixed. Was missing a little bit of a part, so I purchased this one in order to replace that part. I ended up getting this one working, and I've really been loving the experience. The more that I shoot it, the more I think about it. And this is kind of rare for me because I have a lot of cameras I've worked on over the past few years. I've worked on thousands of them, whether that's your ME Supers, your AE1s, your K1000s, your SRTs, your FEs, FMs, all sorts of things. I have preconceived notions of those in my head. I have kind of pre-scripted thoughts. If you ask me, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I pretty much know what I'm going to say for the most part. And that's kind of nice. It's comforting at a certain point, but it's not very exciting. And I feel like with the Contax RTS, I find myself continually trying to think about it, trying to place it, trying to figure out where it belongs in the overall collection of my cameras. I'm constantly surprised by it in a way that I'm not with other cameras. I enjoy the experience. I'm always kind of trying to figure out better words I can use to describe it, to sell you guys on the experience. Now, I'm not a big fan of selling stuff. I don't think that more cameras will make you happier, will make you a better photographer. But I do think the experience of shooting with the RTS has been one that's been eye-opening for me. I've really enjoyed it in ways that I can't quite find the words for, and that I hope that through the purpose of shooting with it more frequently, and hopefully with a better lens, I'll be able to find more accurate descriptors for that experience. So that is an effort that I'm going to be taking on for the rest of this year, getting a better lens for it, and expanding my vocabulary to include better things than just, it's nice, it's good, it's a nice, good camera. Those are some of my goals for the end of the year resolutions. Feel free to comment yours down below. Just make sure that you don't waste your time shooting yes exclamation point star film unless you really feel so inclined to. Before you do that, I again encourage you to check out my second channel with the photo walk. You might enjoy it a little bit, or you won't, but I'd appreciate the view and I'd appreciate the subscription all the same. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel. You can also dislike the video if you want to. Do whatever floats your boat. Just keep the comments kind of chill, because my mom reads those and then she texts me about them. So if I have to watch my language, you guys have to watch yours. I don't make the rules here. My mom does. Anyway, thank you all again. Appreciate it. And I will catch you on the next one.